Welcome back to the Electrify podcast, brought to you by the creators of Electrify Expo, North America's largest EV festival, coming to a major city near you. Thanks for joining our stand-up comedy act. Two hairy guys, and we can't rip off the Two Bears, One Cave thing, but love this gentleman emphatically. He's such a sweetheart, a loving father, friend, just a confidant, and just an all-around good guy, an automotive influencer, tastemaker. And just you know him from Top Gear, you know him from The Floor is Lava, you know from Hot Wheels Ultimate Garage. I mean, you just know him from so many different things. But I know him, and you know him as Mr. Rutledge Wood. Sorry, Rutledge Wood. My bad.
What's up? I thought it was nice. It's the way people say Volkswagen. I thought you gave it a real heavy W. Thank you, brother.
I gave it to Stuttgart, Rutledge Wood. Uh, right. As we start this podcast, I say, yes, it's Electrify. Yes, it's EV, but not exclusively. So, getting
Sure.
Pastron on here, I'm like, okay, we talk about Nitro Cross, but let's talk about Goodwood and the family Huckster and that Subaru wagon and all that. So we'll start things off by most recently, I saw you. I gave you a hug. I brought you and Tanner Faust, your Top Gear confidant as well. You were just coming to hang out.
I
And I said,
just
get
came to
over
give
here.
you a hug, and then
And
we're
he
on
just had
camera.
bad Chinese food, his bubble guts. I think he was going to the bathroom. And I pulled him in. I said, come talk. And you talked about Baja Bugs. But going to the EV thing, what'd you think of Nitro Cross and these 1,000 horsepower EV rally cars?
Well, man, first off, you and Andrew, y'all just do such a great job. To see Katie there too. That was so fun. And yeah, I literally just went to go give you a hug. I was going to hang with Tanner. And then you handed me a headset, and we didn't have even time to ask it, what are we doing? And then y'all were talking. So it was pretty wild to get to be thrown into that with you. The experience was nuts, man. You know, I've been to, well, I guess when Rallycross first started here with GRC and Red Bull and all these different kind of iterations, I've gotten to be at kind of almost every single one. This was my first time seeing the electric cars, and I think Tanner was there, I think, testing next year's car.
Mm-hmm.
I think is what he said. So obviously there's always innovation, people looking for new stuff. It was a fascinating experience, if I can be honest.
No, lie
I
to me.
love I won't. I love what Travis has built and what the Nitro team has done. It is, if we're honest, a bit of a weird sensation because you hear the cars take off and it does sound, there's a very distinct sound for an electric motor, especially a high output one. You know what that kind of sort of takeoff is.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cars are gone and you're watching them. They do this whole thing. And I was right by this jump. So you hear this, like, you can kind of hear a little bit of tire screeching. They come towards you and they go by. There's no noise, and then they land, and all you hear is gravel getting chucked on the cars behind them. So It was funny because that visceral, that noise that we've always thought about engines and how it connects to you, it has changed to tire screeching and the dirt and the rocks and everything else they threw. So that part was wild. I will say, we have this weird thing about auto racing where we think, oh, well, if I can't hear it and if it doesn't hurt my ears, it's not enjoyable. That to me was a really good example of that is not the case. I really enjoyed it. It was different. I did like the lights still being able to have, to hear those, to hear the pops on the exhaust note. I kind of like that difference. And for people to go, okay, electric, this is the true power, this is the speed, and this is the kind of upper echelon. I thought that was neat. I think we're a long way away from that hitting something like NASCAR.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I've spent 18 years covering that in my career, and I've certainly seen a lot of changes from, like, the car of tomorrow, the Gen 6, all these different changes that have happened. Like, for example, they now have a dual exhaust, which comes out both sides. And I'll be honest, I don't like it as much. It's too loud. It hurts my ears when I'm at the track.
You're too old.
Yeah, I'm too old
Too
for this.
loud or
But
too
also,
old?
yeah, I don't want my ears to be ringing, but I did feel like the sensation of speed is different. And if you saw that video when they first were talking about, and I'm sure y'all probably talked about this before, remember when they first said they were going to bring out an electric Dodge Charger or the Challenger,
Mm-hmm.
and they had that weird, like, rawr
Yeah.
noise. There was also that guy at
cringy.
SEMA. Yeah, there was someone at SEMA that basically had, for all intents and purposes, a loudspeaker that you would mount under the bumper and it would make car noises. I think that's worse. I think almost
I don't, hey,
highlighting.
real quick, I know you work with Magnaflow. I believe Magnaflow developed one.
No, no, the one I'm talking about was like, here's this bro who
Oh, you
made
get to
this
choose your,
noise.
got it.
I didn't like that. I think if
Mm.
anything, if we could just accentuate like those Nitro rally cars, they sounded cool, but I could hear that motor going.
Well, I think that's why nitrocross is interesting, and you brought up the great point of all you hear is the gravel machine gun against the
Right.
fiberglass, against the carbon fiber, as opposed to like, drag racing. I legit again our demo where I just want to hear. I mean, sounds like a Subaru Jetson car, like
That would be way cooler.
yeah. No, and again, that's Rhett, you're not the first person. Every time we get a car guy on, if it's Big Mike or whomever, if it's Travis, everybody just, Vaughn even. And Vaughn took the extra level. Shout out Atlanta, shout out Georgia. T-Pain did you know that T-Pain produced the audio sound of the Mach E 1400?
No, is that what
Yeah.
sound it's making?
Yeah, so T-Pain and Vaughn worked together in
Wow.
conjunction to create the both when it backs up, it goes whoop, 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 and then the actual go forward audio, not an
Right.
exhaust note. He took a mix of a Group B rally car, mixed with a little drift exhaust, mixed with a little Ford Mustang. So he created, they were cooks in the kitchen. They created that exhaust note on the
And
Mach
dude,
E 1400.
I have heard that one in person and it sounds legit. Like that's what to me,
Okay.
like I think we just need to use some technology in highlighting what that is. And yeah, to your point, I think Magnaflow's worked with some people on one of those. And it's funny because it's just such a different departure from what they do. But I still think it's cool, and even back in the Top Gear days, we did some electric car testing. Sometimes we did stuff that didn't make air. And I don't know if I ever told you this. One time we were trying to prove something about how they recharge, and this was pre-Tesla. So, or this was like the Roadster days.
Okay.
I was in a home-built electric MG, but it was using the battery so fast. I was tailgating like an F-150 that had generators in the back, and I was plugged into the cord. It didn't.
What? You were like, was this like a like,
Yes,
like military fueling planes?
perfect example. Except we're just riding around Compton like that.
That sounds absolutely sketchy, and I'm here for it. Why
And,
did that
and
not air? Like,
I
here's
think
here's
because
the
it was uninteresting. I think it was just not compelling television because even the system, like, this is dorky.
yeah, yeah, I get it. Like, you need a long extension cord. You're like Clark Griswold out on the street of Compton trying to charge
Dude, that's
1,000,000 Italian lights. Oh, it doesn't, it's not
we
that
also
exciting.
like we did drag racing. I think it was Milan Speedway, which is up in Michigan.
Mhm.
Tanner, Adam, and I drove these high school built electric cars, and there was three of them. Tanner was in this one that was like it looked like a Top Fuel dragster, but a little bit smaller, not quite a junior, it was bigger than that.
Yeah.
And they had to share the same battery pack, which were essentially car batteries at that point that were all run together in a series. And they took it out of one versus the other. But that thing was that the throttle. They said you can't, you you have to just stay on it because
On
otherwise,
off switch. It's
yes.
not, yeah.
It was the first one. He had like kind of a weird launch, and he went and he stopped. We lined it back up again, and then he just matted it. And dude, that thing was like an 8-second quarter mile 12 years ago with electric car batteries put together. So it's like, dude, I get it, and it's come a long
Yeah.
way. But it's just we have to find that line that is, I think, where the enthusiasts lie and where passion lies, and how do you get that? Because if you've ever been in an electric car, there is a big disconnect. In the same way that there are automatics today that you don't even feel like it needs you to be in there. Like you're just like,
Right.
what is this? I mean, my first car was a 81 Rabbit diesel pickup 4-speed. Like it wasn't doing anything without me. It needed my input for everything. So when you see these new ones, it is definitely like technology's taken us so far, but where's that line? And hopefully I think I know you guys talk to people all the time that are working on that. And I think we can get there hopefully.
And here this is coming from the mouth of this gentleman's building these, you're an oddity car guy. I mean, outside of like a classic Skyline, but you're changing the front end of your, was it a Maestro? Is it, what are you
That one's a
building?
Stagio wagon,
Stagio wagon,
260 RS. Yeah.
putting the R34 front end on it, right?
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
which is a classic, like super dope. Like I love wagons, you love wagons, we all love wagons, shaggin' wagon, and the minivans and all that. But Land
Absolutely.
Cruisers, and you're a Toyota partner, which is great. But cutting into the diversity of vehicles, K cars to LS powered Porsches. So, here you are, doing
And
random
hybrids.
stuff and hybrids.
I've got my favorite that I have. They're both Toyotas. I have a Toyota Sienna minivan, the Swagger
Mhm.
wagon, and I think you've seen that one. It's blue with
I've
bronze
ridden
wheels.
in it.
That's right.
How are the
That
wheels
one.
doing? And how is the door? How's the door?
I'll say this. That joke is funny because I put wheels that are just wide enough. They look great, but when the tires don't have tire wet, the rear doors go and they will sometimes stop short. So our friend Jason and Brian at Rotiform are going to work on some slightly less wide wheels for me. It's doing
Good.
great. And then I've got the new Sequoia, which is also a hybrid.
Yeah.
And, Toyota's done a lot of work in that direction. And again, I'm sorry I haven't listened to every podcast on Electrify yet. I will. I'll catch up.
I gotta go.
I love you. I love you. Toyota caught a lot of flack for people saying that they were behind on electrics where other people were. And they were very clear. Oh, we're not behind. We are purposeful and we are intentional with what we're doing. And it really does show in all of their hybrid lineup. But also they have big plans, in the future for what they're doing with batteries. But, it's funny if you look at how many low and zero emissions vehicles they offer combined, it's more than any other automaker. So obviously they keep technology hand in hand with everything they do. And the Sequoia, I had a 21 before, and I loved it, but it would stop at everything but a gas station. Like she was a thirsty girl. And this new one is a totally different ballgame. I mean, everything about it has changed. I still will fight anyone that doesn't believe that the Sienna is the greatest car that's made. I know our friend Sung Kang, we agree
I
on
was
that.
just gonna say that Sung's like favorite car, Sienna.
Dude, it's incredible. And you've ridden in mine. Like it gets the best mileage of anything I own. It's the most comfortable. It's the biggest, and it's got swag. Like you gotta just lean into it. So, I've not been electric crazy, but
Yeah.
hybrids are definitely in my life every day.
And to your point, it's the Millennium Falcon of the freeways is the Sienna and the Odyssey, and these vans are so ill. And again, nobody's brought over the full Bipu VIP van that, when you go to Japan, dude, these seats, I mean, they are like what is it? Therapeutic mattresses. They're unbelievable. But to your
They're
point,
just
when I
massaging.
yeah, I'm gonna lean forward. Well, I'm gonna go to sleep and lie flat. This one's just right. Tempur-Pedic, that's what I was looking for. This is
That's
not
what it is.
this is not an advertisement. What I was gonna say is to your Toyota partner, just doting on Toyota here, they've a lot of people when I talk to them about this podcast is like, what's this? And like I said, it's not exclusively EV, but it's conversation. A lot of people think that Toyota's kind of doing it right. Dodge made that statement, said, hey, we're going electric, with or without you. And they've kind of, digressed a little bit on that, call to action. But, Jim Farley says, yeah, we're going to run the gamut, like we're going to do it all. Toyota has made this statement and they were so early on the hybrid technology. Think of all the knowledge they have that complements it. And Dodge does have that one product it's fuel or electric. If you can go 100% fuel or 100% electric, or you can merge them with their separate cells. So Toyota's done a really good job of complementing it with such a big vehicle. I got to experience that Sequoia TRD Pro last year going to Grid
Oh
Life
yeah.
Laguna Seca. I love the thing. Only thing is it needs to have a full flat back so I can sleep in it as opposed to the passenger seat. It doesn't,
Yeah,
how the
that's
seats
fair.
don't full, we need a little like full platform,
Yeah.
yeah, but Toyota's doing a great job as far as the hybrid technology and all their knowledge and equity applying it to now their future vehicles.
Yeah, and I know it's something that people talk about regularly. At the core, we really don't have the infrastructure to get where some of these standards and mandates are coming from. Living in California and I live in Atlanta. Last time I was visiting Tanner last summer, it was right around the time that they basically said, "Hey, if you have an electric car, please don't charge it at any time that it's convenient, but you're welcome to charge it between 2 and 5 a.m." And everyone's like, "I'm sorry, what?" I
Yeah, our boy Fred Chang, right? He had that Porsche, and he lived across the street, and then everybody's there. So it's like going to
right.
In and Out. It's like going to In and Out at 6 o'clock. You're
And
just
so what
screwed. It's not
what
In
do
and
you
Out.
do? And then if you listen to guys like Johnny Lieberman and watch him try to go charge something else, it's off Tesla network. And I'm not knocking. I think we need, what is it? It's not Recharge America. There's some big company that does a lot
Yep.
of these. I'm not knocking any of them. I think they're trying to do their best. And look, therapy will tell you, just believe that people are doing the best that they can with what they have to offer, right?
Yep.
But the reality is we aren't where we need to be. And so we're changing these standards and laws, but we're not moving at the same rate for what we need on the infrastructure side. So I also think like a company as big and as smart as Toyota is, to be smart in their moves and be calculated with all those things, they also know like we're not going to make stuff that the user can't actually use. Like that's worthless. That hurts our brand more than whatever you
Yeah.
think it's helping. So I do think those two things have to go hand in hand, and hopefully, we can get, I mean, it's not party specific. We know this. Hopefully we can
Yeah.
just get politicians in that believe, okay, if you want to not have internal combustion engines in the future, I hear you. But before we block that, what are we going to do between now and then to change
Yeah.
that? Like people need to be able to charge them when they are. And so hopefully, solid state batteries and maybe getting away from lithium in the way that the dependency is now, maybe that can be really helpful for those things. If we can make stuff that can charge faster and last longer, we really will have a great replacement.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. And listening to, did you ever listen to Elon's New York Times interview? Did you listen to it?
I didn't. I'm not a big Elon fan as a
Okay.
human just because I don't love narcissists the way that some people do. So it's hard for me to really, I can't buy in. Plus, my beef is every Tesla person I know has become the BMW owner that we used to
I
hate.
was just, oh man, my wife drives a BMW. Gosh, I'm joking.
Does she
It's
know
all,
where? I bet Steph
her
knows where
blinker
the
fluid
blinkers
is.
are. Yeah.
Her blinker fluid is full. Her blinker
I
fluid
bet
is
she
full.
uses it. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I don't know what their problem is. These new Tesla drivers today, I just want to be like, I don't know how to tell you this. You're not special. You're not
No.
unique. It's just another car. Please use the blinker and don't drive like an a-hole all the time.
Oh, Rutledge drawing a line in the sand and saying Tesla owner. I get. You know what? Let's just throw all the all those out there. No,
It's not
it
all of
is a
them, and you know that. It's
It's
not all
no,
of
of
them.
course not. It's not all the BMWs, not all the Tesla owners. I live in California on one of the busiest freeways in Southern California, and it is painfully obvious that yes, there are some certain trends of certain vehicle owners that are true and ring true. So I absolutely agree with you. Um, Prius owners. So if we want to talk about Toyota, let's just talk about some of those. I would say the older Prius owners, the new ones are ill. By the way, what model
You
is
don't
that?
like,
That like
dude, I think the new ones are so cool looking.
no, they're sick. Ill meaning good. Oh
Ill.
my gosh,
Oh,
how
I
old
thought,
are you?
I'm sorry. My daughters have recently found that John Cena, Jimmy Fallon, ill.
Oh, no,
I
I said
thought you were saying
ill.
I thought you were
Ill,
saying ill. I was like,
like
wait,
ill, like
ill.
illest,
They
like
are.
that.
They
No,
are. They're dope.
they're sick. They're they're bad to the bone. Yeah, like we're
Yes, I
dating
agree.
ourselves. No, not L. They're L.
They are ill.
No,
They're the illest.
they are, and that's yeah. There we go. So no, I think they were good. My buddy Albert and I were just talking about those. He just left, but uh yeah, we were talking about those. All right, what? Let's just bounce around here like we always
Yeah.
do. I feel like people are listening to our legit conversations that Rut and I have. Like we'll rendezvous at SEMA, at Circus Circus, or as I like to call it, Ghetto Ghetto. What 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 combustion things are you working on? I got to rattle off your Hot Wheels collection, but not 164th, 1 to 1.
Ooh.
What are we dealing with here right now, kiddo?
Okay, so right now, stuff I'm working on. Still working on my '94 Toyota pickup drift truck.
Shout out Cora
Uh,
Works, Greg and the
th-
team.
yep, they're working hard on it. We're getting the body taken all apart. It's going to get painted by House of Color. Really excited about that.
Woo!
Downside is it ate the turbos that Drift Motion had rebuilt on the dyno. And thank you, Aaron and the team. They said we'll be happy to rebuild those rebuilt turbos again. But P.S. your engine is going. So I had not budgeted to rebuild that one JZ, but here we are, just doing it, just doing the
Oh,
thing.
one JZ.
That's right. So it's coming along. I just got a new project with Toyota Greenlit that I cannot tell you about, but I can't wait to show you when it's done.
This is not coming out for 2 months. No, I'm joking. It's I don't know when it's coming out. It's coming out sooner than
Yeah.
that, but I was gonna
Yeah.
say
Still,
yeah.
I'll text you the pictures. I can't
It's all
tell
good.
you about it yet, though.
It's all good. It's all
Then I've
good.
been working on this Stagia 260 RS. So Autech was this company. They bought 1,734 station wagons from Nissan and said, give us an all-wheel drive chassis and then sell us the all-wheel drive running gear and driveline out of an R33 GTR. So it's, for all intents and purposes, a GTR station wagon. I sold my R33
So
GTR.
sick.
It feels just like that. And I decided to convert the front end because my front end was pretty beat up. to a R34. And our friend Sean Morris, that's at Top Rank. Sean was the one that told me, I bet it was 10 years ago. He was like, hey, when these cars become available, you're going to want one. And I was like, I don't know. And then he showed me pictures. I was like, yes, I do want one.
Yeah.
So he's who turned me on to that. But it's getting worked on at Blackjack, which is the guy Adam Perling used to be on a drift team back in the day out of Atlanta. So cool guy. And then my buddy Michael Elsey is finishing up my 6-speed conversion on my Mark IV Supra. And really excited about that, man. It's in Birmingham in his garage. Drift Motion made me a new drive shaft for it, so we're just waiting for it to get there. And then I think that's it. Well, I'm also still building a K truck because I love.
Yep.
I don't know why big dudes and tiny vehicles. It just works. But
Are
building
you
a.
are you Bowser or are you like Diddy Kong? Which one?
I mean, Bowser's pretty solid. I mean, when I'm in that, I look like Big Daddy Roth, those old hot rod cartoons where the guy's head's out the window.
Big old
That's what it
shifter.
feels like. Yeah, every time I'm in there, I feel like that's what it looks like. So that one is definitely that one's special to me. That one I'm building is a tribute to our friend Tyler that we lost, who owned Coral Works. And so kind of like I'm trying to imagine what he would have made if he needed like a support truck for his drift car. So I'm really, really close to it. I just put tires that were too tall and I can't lower it until I get smaller tires, but I still have to finish all the other stuff. And so it's getting really close. So we got this custom MagnaFlow pipe on there that two of my friends that I made that are into K trucks built, Special K's and OK Garage. And dude, the MagnaFlow muffler is almost the same size as the truck. It's the smallest one I could find, but it looks so good. It sounds awesome. No one knows what to think of it here, but I think that's all that I'm currently like.
That's
And,
all.
I just tinker.
No, you tinker. I love watching your videos and you're very transparent about just like I'm gonna figure it out. Like you're like a new school Bob Vila, like, but there's mixed with a little shade tree mechanic. We're going old school on some of the stuff that we grew up on, right?
I know just enough to be dangerous, but I don't know so much that I'll pretend that I do. Like as you know,
Right.
I try to be real transparent. Hey, there's some stuff that I can do on this. There's some stuff that I can't. Like I can't wrap it. I couldn't change the core support on the 260 RS to make it an R34. So like I just try to find my friends and get their help with everything that way. So yeah, I realize I could sell all these and have one nice vehicle. That I get that. That's just not my speed. I'd rather have 4 $7,000 cars than one $28,000 car. Is how I explain it.
Well, my wife and son have brand new 2023 model vehicles, or 24 actually. I think they're 2024. Got them last year. BMW and a Corolla. Got Parker, our oldest son, a Toyota Corolla 5-door, and I have my tried and true 2015 Toyota Tundra, but I'm getting a full glow up on it.
I
I'm not just
saw.
I'm glowing it up, baby. So shout out to my boy Larry Chen, Advanced Fiber Composites. Got some fenders. We're gonna go some King shocks, little camber suspension. I do already have MagnaFlow on it, but I'm gonna get a new one. What else am I doing? Yeah, I think just that's new wheels, getting fuel wheels, some Yokohama tires on it. So I'm just glowing it
Probably
up.
going 30
37s.
fives? No, you're not.
Yeah,
You were like,
Larry,
hey, I'm tired of getting not so great mileage. What can I do to make it worse? And someone's like, go
hold my beer.
37s. Go
Hold my
37s
beer.
and wider.
Whatever. I mean, I don't drive that much. If I do, it's to Vegas and back or out to do some
Yeah,
other
it'll
stuff.
be great. I love that.
And speaking of drive, I love your collection. It's so diverse and speaks volumes of kind of all the influence you have, from Hondas to imports to domestic, obviously feeding into your NASCAR. Good old boy, Peachtree City. Not giving out your address, but that's where you live. But there's a great segue into transportation. And what is kind of the earliest EV vehicle? Golf carts. And are golf carts used exclusively on golf courses? No, they are not. So
Nope.
you are a proud partner of Club Car, which I was like, bro, what the kick your boy down. I mean, this is Malbin hat. I golf like a lot. I'm not good, kind of like you tinkering on cars. But Peachtree City notably has like more. What's the stat? And like what?
We
Just
probably have more golf carts per capita than probably any other city. Yeah. So Peachtree City was founded as a planned community. It really started late 50s. It didn't take off till 60s. And then 70s had a big chunk. There was parts of the 80s and then 90s and 2000s. So we're built on 3 golf courses. And it's kind of funny. I guess in theory, we have like 5 boroughs. They wanted there to be these like kind of 5 distinct
It's not New York.
neighborhoods. No,
Do
exactly.
not call them boroughs, bro. You're not like,
That's what they call them in one written thing. And I was like, I'm
all
going to give
right.
them a shout out to whoever wrote that. So the idea was that these 5 communities would exist as one town. It's not huge, right? We're 30 minutes south of the airport, 45 minutes south of Atlanta. And the idea was that we'll build these 3 golf courses and then we'll connect the entire town with a golf cart path. So it's basically a single lane. So it's what, 8 feet
Yeah.
wide or so, and it will go through all of these like little green spaces and will connect everything so that if you lived here you could go to the golf course, you could go to school, you could go to church, you could go do anything on the golf cart. So they were
Yeah.
trying to really think about making this fun kind of eco-friendly town, and it took off because any day of the week, like today, this afternoon, I'll take my club car onward and I'll go pick up my daughter Hattie from school, and then we'll ride home. Then we'll go get Millie from middle school. Same thing, ride home on the car pass, and it is the most fun. We moved here when I was 15 from Birmingham, Alabama, and I'd never seen anything like this. My mom wanted to move to one town next door, which is called Noonan, where our buddy Taylor Hull is from right by there. So it had they had like cooler old houses there. Peachtree City was definitely like on the newer side, but my dad was like, there's golf courses and golf carts. This is where I want to be. So we moved here. At some point over the years, they changed the law from you needed to be 16 to drive a golf cart to be 15 with a learner's permit. And overnight, we made national news for golf cart traffic jams.
Well,
Because
because they got hey, you turned 21. Everybody turned 21 at the same time. You start
right.
pounding beers. Everybody sold out everywhere. But 15 years old, you're like, Dad, give me the keys. Duh. Yeah, go. I don't have to
So it was
drive you
like
anymore.
it was a whole grade suddenly that could drive to school that wasn't able to drive a car yet. So yeah, we suddenly had to build this huge golf cart parking lot at my old high school, McIntosh High School. And it's funny. I became a club car partner because I've had nothing but club cars. This is my 4th one. I gave my daughter my last one because Elsie drives that to school. But
I love this.
yeah, it turns out like it's really neat. The more that I learned about it. So club cars started in 1958, right? And it was definitely
Yeah.
about making a cart that could get around on golf courses. But very quickly they got into the utility side and then personal transportation. So now they've got, I mean, now they have party mobiles like the Crew. You would love the Crew, dude. It's this.
I'm pulling up the different models because they
Oh
are
my gosh.
ridiculous, dog.
Okay, the Crew,
Ridiculous.
and a lot of people saw it. You may have seen it with Tyson if you watch
Yep.
any Dude Perfect. They had one on there. It has got
Yep.
this table on the back. It's like it's a party on wheels, and it's an
Yep.
LSV. So a lot of people that are in beach communities, it's a no brainer because you could literally take it to the beach. It's got room for all your stuff. Throw a surfboard on the roof rack, whatever you want. But Club Car they make gas, they make electric, they do commercial, they do consumer, but also like they've really always been on the forefront of environmentally responsible vehicles, right? Zero emission vehicles has always been like their focus on technology. So for me, it was really a no brainer because I love the brand. I've got a dealer in town called Bulldog Supply that I've been going to for 20 years. Jonathan and JH Hooper are great friends. So it's been really neat. And I get to do some fun stuff with them, like go drive the Crew around. And yeah, I custom ordered a purple Onward. And
Okay.
they said there
Onward.
was one other that was sold in town. I've yet to see it, but
Onward HP Ion?
well,
Or did you get the
they
6
have lithium.
passenger?
I went for the 4 passenger and I got the standard electric. They have the lithium ion. They have the extended range now too. Um, but I wasn't quite ready to make that jump because there's a little bit of trade off. It seems like
Okay.
for top end mileage at the time when I was looking at them, they're a lot more comparable today.
Yeah.
But excuse me.
Okay.
Club Cars out of Augusta, Georgia, and just a great group of folks over there. I get to go to the Club Car Championship in a few weeks and help host a bunch of stuff down in Savannah, which I know you would love to be there for the pro
Yeah.
am. You'd actually do really well at the pro am. I don't think I'm playing. I think I'm just hosting the draft party, which you've seen me play. So that's
It's
probably
Yeah,
a
I
move.
know both you and I have bad backs. We carry a lot of people on our backs. I'm joking. It's just getting old and sitting on planes is what gives you a bad back.
Hmm.
And it's not
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not about CrossFit or anything like that. Yeah, I was fully intrigued when you got this club car thing, and I know Larry Chen works with another, I believe a competitor, but this crew, you guys have to look this thing up. Club car crew, two-seater up
CRU.
front, CRU. It's MSRP starting at 24 grand. This thing is sick. Unfortunately, at my country club, you can't take outside carts onto the course, but
Mm,
I'm karting distance, and there was some, don't quote me on this, okay? Just going on record. Supposedly, and I found this out from a friend because I bought my 1960s Taylor Dunn T-Bird, T-E-E-B-I-R-D, like T, golf T. And if you're within 2 miles of a golf course, you can legally drive it on the street. Again, don't quote me on this. This is not
really?
supposedly. I drive mine from my house down to the golf course, and it's a blast. But yeah, I
Now,
I,
I
I
always
love,
thought yours. I thought yours was a Western is a company that would get club cars and sometimes Easy Goes, and they would make these cool fiberglass bodies where you've seen they look like the old Cadillacs and
yeah,
old Rolls Royces, like the real classic ones. Now they have newer ones too that I've
yeah.
seen people do, but dude, yours is so it's so cool looking, and like I don't know how you could ever get rid of it. It's
It's
awesome.
it's cool. It runs, it's great. She's slow, but she's steady. It's the
That's
old
right.
hair. But I got a speaker in there, and it's fun. But that's why I say that all jokingly and seriously is, golf carts were some of the first electric vehicles to ever be produced. I mean, obviously bigger batteries, but now they make them smaller. My buddy Golf Ballin up in Northern Cal, he's like a golf cart dealer. He gets all the weird
Oh
Aqua
yes,
ones. Yeah.
I started following him
Yeah.
because of you, and dude, he gets a lot of those kind of crazy westerns, and
Yep.
he'll resell them. But the nice thing for a company like Club Car, like my daughter has my Precedent, which was a model before this one. I think it's an '05 or an '06. But there's a lot of these carts that are showing up right now, especially in my town, that are, I don't know what the right word to call them. I don't think it's fly by night. They are,
Mm,
I would refer to them as disposable. They are carts that look good today. There's got a lot of weird things about them, and they seem like, oh, look, this is like a shiny LED thing today. But they break, and then they essentially just become yard art for people
right.
because there's not the support. Because essentially, people would go to China and say, okay, I want to order 500 golf carts. I want them to look like this, and let's put X, Y, and Z on them. So then they make them, they gather all that stuff, and then they go. So when you need controllers and all these other things that can go out over time, a lot of these folks are having a hard time finding them. So when you find a brand like Club Car, and I certainly have, I've had friends that like their Easy Goes, they have the catalog of parts to keep things going because so many golf courses have used these carts for years and years. Because for people that don't know, and I know you've seen it, typically what happens is golf courses will get, let's say, between 50 and 100 golf carts for X amount of years. And then once they've kind of used those to where they feel like, okay, it's time to get new ones, then those go to either they could go back to Club Car and become remanufactured. They could go to dealers where they get converted, or people sell them and then they start customizing them at home and go sell them. So it's really nice when you find, companies that there are all these cool like go fast parts and hop up parts for carts that are made by real companies that are actually been around and been, real brands in the
Yeah.
industry. So that's why your cart continues to live and keep going, is because it's a real cart.
And what's funny about that is I acquired mine from my boy Brandon up in Northern California and brought it down. I was like, "Hey, can we get this thing fast?" I actually took the Riverside golf cart here. I love that we're just spawning in the golf carts, but it does come down to EV. But
It is.
it does. And Riverside golf cart, I said, "Hey, can we make it a little faster?" He's like, "Yeah, but if you make it faster, you need to stop it. And to stop it, it's like a single brake, like this. It's like on the drive shaft. It just goes. It's like one brake
No
pad.
kidding.
So you got to think like, yeah, dude, this thing rips. Oh snap! It's not stopping. Like, yeah, the bridge is gonna.
That
I'm
one
gonna look. I'm gonna look. Did you just snort? By the way, it's like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, like which I am getting a tattoo of at some point because Mr. Toad is my spirit animal. I got yeah, I got a golf one. I've gotten 3 tattoos in the last week or two.
I noticed they're really taking. I'm
Yeah,
getting close. I'm gonna
taking.
get my first one. It's gonna happen. But I think it's funny. I
I'm
think
intrigued. I have to kind of be with you, and I have to steer you in the right direction. But
for
anyways, go
sure.
ahead.
I think my
Okay.
friend Ricky Rackman's wife, Leah Vendetta, I think is gonna do my first. So we'll have to. We need to
Okay.
plan that. I think that would be really fun.
All right.
It's funny you say that, the break thing. There was one of the reasons I was never a fan of Easy Go, for years they started when they worked on this new motor, and they're like, we'll put the brakes inside the motor. This will be great. And then they had a ton of problems with that, especially in our town, because, people are driving these every single day. You think of my daughter, the mileage that she puts on there is like the same that she's putting on a new car. So
Right.
it's really funny. But a bunch of these people had these, I think it was RXV or RVX, I can't remember the name, but yeah, the brakes were in the electric motor, and then most of them failed and had to be rebuilt. And now some of them are like sketchy fast, because
Yeah.
I do want to be clear. I think it's a great way for kids to learn about driving. There are plenty of golf cart wrecks, and some of them are pretty intense. My friend
You
Kevin,
saved
and
one. You saved somebody like, what was that, late last year? Somebody like went off and didn't you pull them out in peace, you and your daughter, right? You say
yes,
you have the rescue club car. Woo, woo, here comes the
we
woods.
we saved some people. We've helped a handful. I helped these guys one night. My friend Josh that we played golf with.
Yeah.
Josh and I were coming home from El Ranchero one night, just cruising by the lake, and there were these kids that were like, "Hey, can you help us? We're having a problem with the golf cart." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I hop over. What I don't know is that they have rented this cart and they flipped it.
Oh no.
All they tell me is, yeah, the battery cable came off. And I was like, oh, okay. So I get underneath there, got them holding cell phone lights. I start looking. We don't have any tools, but it's gas. So we just need to make enough contact where it'll start the motor and then they'll be good. So I tell this one guy, I was like, I need someone's shoelace. They're like, what? I was like, yeah, I can
Diver,
lash
yeah.
this down if we do this. So I'm doing it. And as I'm doing this, I realized there's no way this cable could snap under regular use. And so as I'm working on it, I was like, is this y'all's cart? And they're like, no, we rented it. I was like, oh, y'all flipped this, didn't you? And they were like, yeah. Yeah, sorry, don't tell anybody. 2 minutes later, one of my friends who's a police officer, Brian, pulls up and he's like, everybody okay? I was like, yeah, these guys just had a little golf cart trouble. And I'm smiling real big. And I said, guys, why don't we get a picture while Brian's here? And they're like, yeah. And they posted to Instagram. They're like, the time the dude from Top Gear fixed our golf cart with a shoestring, and then the cops showed up. And I'm like, all right, man. So it's
I mean, we've
it
done
makes
it.
it,
We've
yeah.
done it in different vehicles, and maybe you can attest this. Tell me if there's a wives' tale or you've heard the same stat. And obviously, you don't want to sensationalize death or injury, but let's just say there's more injuries on golf carts than there are race cars at race tracks. Because
Well, I can
right?
believe that. I
Because
the
how many
two
wheelies have I done on a golf cart? I mean, Drift Alliance and us, we did that at Sonoma years ago. Road Atlanta. I mean, and the problem is when you start getting that wheelie on that back, like standee on the back,
hard to come
you
back
can't
down.
steer. You can't
No,
steer, and then you go
you got to
down and you go
lean.
boosh, 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 boosh. Yeah,
Yeah,
tank
it's
slapper.
ironically they're not made for that. I'm
No,
gonna level with you. They weren't designed for that.
wait, what?
The two greatest golf cart
No.
stories that I know. One was the world famous 7-time NASCAR championship winning driver Jimmy Johnson
Mm,
was allegedly
mhm.
surfing on top of a golf cart at his own charity tournament with Nick Lachey, and
Sick.
I believe we would say he did not stick the landing.
Ooh,
Broke his wrist when he came down, and there were several weeks of like no one was really talking about how the champ hurt his wrist at a golf course until later it comes out like, yeah, I tried to surf these waves and no
I
way,
love Teen
Styles.
Wolf.
These waves are mine.
Jimmy's a big Teen Wolf fan. Styles,
Yeah.
Styles and old Teen Wolf. This is my wave, right? I mean,
He was heard saying, "No way, Styles. These waves are mine. Give me a keg of beer
I'd like
and
a keg of beer.
these." So that was number one. Number two is, I've made a lot of great friends in racing. One of them is a guy named Billy Race, and Billy used to work for my friend Kyle Petty. And the first weekend that Billy ever worked, he was driving a golf cart. He was at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Brickyard, and Billy got the cart too close to these those little like ropes, and they'll put like a stick in the ground, and then
Yeah.
it's like a little metal rope hanger
Yep.
to section off the parking lot. I guess Billy must have clipped one of those, and it kind of got spun underneath the golf cart. And he's driving and he's driving and he's driving. And Kyle describes it as he could see the rope was just getting tighter and tighter and tighter underneath the cart because Billy can't see. And then ding, and it lets go, and it wraps around Kyle's neck. And Kyle is following the golf cart on a Vespa, and he gets flung off the back. So now Kyle Petty's laying on the ground. He's being choked by like a yellow parking string,
Don't
and
tell me he's being
Billy.
drugged. Don't tell me
No,
he's being
no,
drugged.
he's
That's
no,
it.
but they see it
Okay.
all happen. The cart goes, so Billy's got to run back there, and some dude cuts the rope off Kyle's neck. Billy that evening gets on the airplane and thanks every person on the way down. Hey, it was really good working with you. It was really good. Like, he knows I'm going to get fired. He didn't work for Kyle for years and everything was fine. But those boys, when they start telling that story, I was like, man, people don't realize you can get in some trouble if you're not paying attention in anything. But
Yeah.
there is a confidence that sometimes happens with golf carts that people don't know. Yeah, I started telling you, my friend Kevin and Jarod were bombing this huge hill behind our high school back in the day, and it was Jared's parents' cart, and they missed the turn, and it just like,
Oh.
dude, it squishes the roof, and it's down at an angle. They somehow get it pulled out of there and put into the garage. And his dad was out of town because Jared's dad's a pilot, and he left like a sticky note on there. It was like, "Hey, Dad, I'm so sorry. I'll tell you all about it when I get home." And he left to go on a trip with his mom to Alabama, and his mom didn't want to tell his dad either. And you're like, now there's this huge guardrail there so that that same thing can't happen. So, yeah, it turns out it is super fun to live here. It is, as you've seen, there's nothing better than hopping on the golf cart. For me, what I love is that I get to slow down. Like, I live life at 12 miles an hour with my daughters, and there's just nothing better. So whether it's going to the farmer's market or going to Josh's house, going to play golf, it's just the time of my life. The other day, our friend Dan that you've met,
Mhm.
Dan and I hopped on, went to Braylon Country Club, tried out this new TaylorMade driver that I got. It's a monster.
Mhm.
Turns out I just wasn't using enough. I wasn't turning my wrists enough. I'm think I'm getting there.
Rotate. Get those
Yeah,
hips. Get Shakira golf going, you know? Those hips don't lie.
you
That's how
know
you gotta
that.
get down, dog. Oh, I know.
Amen, brother.
I've seen you move. Um, speaking of golf carts before, I'd be remiss to not talk about Peachtree City and my beautiful wife. She used to live in Peachtree City for a
Right.
very short abbreviated time, and she had a golf cart incident because, again, just the infrastructure here. They had one in the garage, and then her and her sister messing around. Bang, garage door, boom, dad comes home. What the heck happened? I don't know. I don't know what happened. Know exactly what happened. That happened at my house, which is so freaking funny. In our classic golf cart, I come home. We have like these sliding doors in our garage. I'm like, what happened? I don't know. I'm like, oh, I know exactly what happened. My kids are screwing around. So
Yep.
yeah, we went on this tangent of golf carts, which is amazing, but it is very applicable to the EV world, both club cars, that whole, my buddy lives in Canyon Lake out here, which is kind of Inland Empire. They're a golf cart community. So club cart, great option for you. Check out the different models: onward, upward, sideways, slantways, sideways, upways, and cruise, which are the pretty stuff.
We got to get you a crew. You would be, I just want you to
Oh, bro.
know the way that you live so big in your community. It's Riverside, right? Is that,
Yes, sir. Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
you have
I
put
said where you live,
Riverside
sir.
on the map in so many great ways. But if we got you a crew, because again, it's an LSV, it can be driven streets, paths, wherever, dude. There's just no other way that you would be the poster child
Oh,
for
I'm
that
in.
vehicle.
I could drive that so many places, so many places. Riverside has a great history and of fantastic people. Reggie Miller played basketball here. His wife or his sister, Bobby Bonds, played here baseball. But obviously, the IE is so infamous with freestyle moto like Metal Militia. It's Temecula, it's down the road. But
Yeah.
Malcolm Smith is my brother's neighbor. Jackson Pollock went to high school here. Super random.
What?
Yeah, super
I mean
random. But
the house tours alone, if you got everybody on a bunch of club car crews, it would be amazing.
yeah, I'm not gonna divulge what area exactly I live in, but you could probably deduce it. But there's a particular neighborhood that has a golf cart club, and they cruise traditionally on like 4th of July, New Year's, and it's pretty sweet.
I should tell you, there's a huge 4th of July parade in Peachtree City every summer, and there are golf cart awards for the best design, everything else. So
Love
we
this.
try to be in there every year. Last year, I was hosting the Macy's 4th of July
Oh
fireworks
yeah.
with Zuri Hall for NBC. So I was on like the Hudson River watching all these fireworks go off. So I didn't get to be in it last year, but
All I want
Hopefully
to
we
do,
will
all I want to,
return.
yeah, here you are on this fireworks show. I just want to be home with my family and drive my golf cart. I get it, dude. Sometimes the simple things just like that, and decorating and being at home because, we're traveling a lot. And like I said, our bad backs are not due to 45 pounds on a barbell. Speaking of traveling, what's exciting on your docket, man? 2024, we're already pretty deep into it, a quarter of
I
the
know
way into
it's
the year, man. It's
happened
nuts.
fast. I'm going back on the Kyle Petty charity ride with my friend Kyle and lots of other friends. It is this amazing group of people. We get maybe 150 motorcycles in a line crossing the country, all raising money for Victory Junction, which is this amazing camp in Randleman, North Carolina. That's all about. It's like a modern. It's a state of the art hospital that's disguised as like this kind of great race experience, and it's all for kids with severe and chronic illnesses. So it's an amazing thing. We do probably 250, 300 miles a day, maybe sometimes a little bit more, but we're going to start in Deadwood, South Dakota, and make it all the way to camp, and we'll end at Victory Junction. And if anybody's out there looking for an organization they want to learn more about and help, victoryjunction.org. I'll tell you this, man, when you see all these people riding Harleys, and they are, CEOs, they are mechanics, they're anything that you can imagine. We pulled in there a couple of years ago, and this guy walked up to us, and I'm staying with all my friends, right, that are big, like tough dudes. And this guy says, and I think the particular week, it wasn't, they'll do like a whole week where it might be all kids that have had the same sort of cancers. It could be leukemia, they could be sickle cell, it could be all these different things. But the idea is that every time they're there, they're with kids that are just like them.
Mhm.
And it's just an amazing thing. But this guy walks up and says, "This is the first time I've ever been away from my daughter. And I was gone for a whole week. And the first thing that she said to me when she walked up was, 'Daddy, I rode a horse.'" And there was no like, he starts to explain it and he's in tears. Everyone else is crying. And he's like, "She didn't tell me about her pain. She didn't tell me about anything else. She just said, 'Daddy, I rode a horse.'" And this guy like goes over and hugs these big dudes. And you're like, God, this is amazing. So, um,
Got
yeah, I
Dusty
don't
in
mean
here
to
all of a
get,
sudden. Got
yeah,
Dusty
I'm
in here all of a
sorry.
sudden.
It's just like, I'm so happy I haven't been able because of work the past couple of years to be there. So I'm so excited about that. I get to help run. I'll be driving the camera van, which I've done many years before. So I get to put on tunes as we're going through all these places, and it's
And he's
something that
riding
people.
sidecar, and you're riding sidecar with Kyle, right? You
I've
guys
I've ridden I've ridden 800 miles in a day with him before in the sidecar. Hopefully, I won't have to this time.
just
His
go,
wife might
Rut.
get
Just
jealous.
go. Just go.
Just go. You've had an extra pair of gloves this entire time?
Oh, my
Well,
hands are so
yeah,
clammy. Yeah.
the Rockies. So I'm doing that. I think I'm going to do the Hot Rod Power Tour again with my friends at Continental. That's still coming together, but that should be really fun. I think it's the 30th anniversary, and I love getting to do that. Plus, always working on fun stuff.
Yep.
This new project with Toyota I was starting to tell you about. I'll just say it's living the GR brand real big.
Ooh.
So I'm so lucky to get to do that, man. I've been with Toyota officially as an ambassador for 13 years, but it started way before that. So I love the stuff that I get to do and highlight how many great people there are that work on these cars, that build these cars, that maintain them, everything else. It's a great group of folks. And I know that you know them and love them too. So hopefully I'll also get to see you out at a couple FD events. I want to just come hang.
Yeah. No, it's important, man. It's important to have you there. And again, we're great friends, so we'll go golf, we'll hang out. But obviously,
Yes.
we're fans of motorsports, either it be NASCAR to FD to Nitrocross to golf carts, and it's kind of the in between. That's the sauce, man. I think that's what's really special about it. It's cool making these relationships and yeah, just crossing paths, either it be Hot Wheels things or again, Flora's Lava. You've done a great job with that, and you're just a consummate lover, man, lover of life and lover of people. So I appreciate you, doggy.
Hey, I love you. Thanks for having me. It's always so fun to get to join you on all the different things you do, and it's fun to watch you as you have grown and branched out, and people realize that it turns out you're this wonderful tour guide for anything we can think of. It's a beautiful thing, brother. So I'll follow you anywhere.
Thank you. I will follow you.
Follow you wherever you will go. Is that the same song you're
Yes,
going
that
with?
is that was
Good.
that's where I was going. Yeah, I was going old
Good.
school on that one.
I was hoping
Um,
so.
well, I'll put you in my luggage when we go to New Zealand and visit Mad Mike. I saw your
Oh my
comment the other
gosh,
day.
please tell him I want to go so bad. I just want to go to New Zealand. I'd love to help work and pay for the trip. Like just put me in, coach. I'm in.
Right.
Just find, maybe ask if anyone there has seen Flora's Lava. If they have,
I
we got a
know they
shot
have.
at it.
Yeah,
Because I got oh wait, years ago for Rod Millen's thing.
oh, yeah, Leadfoot Festival.
Leadfoot. I got invited, then couldn't go because of work. And I was like,
Mm.
I had to cancel. I was like, they're never gonna invite me again.
And there you are, not getting invited.
Darn this
Well,
pandy. I'm
I
not
love
going.
Mad Mike Summer Bash, an amazing event. Love Mad Mike. Does a lot of stuff with Hot Wheels and his son Lincoln, his lovely lady, gosh, spacing on Tony, and obviously their daughter Jet Widet. And yeah, I love it down there. So actually, Carl from Hoonigan is going to join me once again, and we're golfing at another amazing spot. Hopefully, Cape
Oh,
Kidnappers. Hey,
dude.
Cape Kidnappers, if you're listening, get us in there. We're all good. Or a Tahiti, we're good. Dude, I love. I'd moved to New Zealand yesterday. Honestly, I
I would,
love
but I'm beach days.
beach days brew. Oh, Mates Beach, you happen to have a bucket or a hose brew? Feeling quite
Get a
posh.
bucket of who's? You
Yeah.
want a chup?
Allegedly. How many puppers we got? No puppers yet.
Allegedly's. No puppers. No
No
puppers.
puppers.
Allegedly's.
Allegedly. Allegedly. Oh, yeah. Just kidding. Anyways, we'll wrap that one up. Yes, yes, yes. We will wrap this up. Thank you so much, Rutledge Wood. You could find them wherever you find your local woods, either it be Peachtree City or a racetrack near you or online or another time, Netflix. I mean, so many different places. Thank you, Rut. Love you.
Love you, brother. Thanks for having me. See y'all.
Thanks for listening to the Electrify podcast, brought to you by the creators of Electrify Expo. Be sure to catch full video episodes on YouTube at Electrify TV and follow along on social media for daily clips and more.